Good afternoon. Welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today for the first webinar of the second edition of the ALDATalks. Today we will talk about friendly cities and migrant inclusion. We will discuss with the partners of the EPIC project about tools and best practices to foster migrant integrations at the local level. The project EPIC, the European Platform for Integrating Cities, will be presented by the project manager of ALDA, Dolinda Cavallo. The project is targeting EU middle-sized cities to develop and design new tools on this specific topic. And then we will leave the floor to Irene, who is project coordinator at Solidaridad Sin Fronteras, and she will describe tools and services that the organization implemented to foster employment rates within migrant communities. And finally, Gianna, who is project coordinator at Kitev, will describe the free university they designed and they started in the city of Oberhausen, together with migrants and citizens. At the end of the talk, we will give the floor, we will open the floor to your comments, questions, and even if you wish, you will be able to share your experience. So I leave the floor to Dolinda to talk, to present us the EPIC project. Thank you very much again, and enjoy the webinar.
So, welcome everybody. I am Dolinda Cavallo. I am project manager of ALDA and project coordinator of the EPIC project. Welcome to the ALDATalk. So to the ALDATalk that is today on friendly city and migrants inclusion. The EPIC project means European Platform of Integrating Cities, and it's a project funded by the European Union Asylum, Migration and Integration Program. It's a project that lasts 36 months and it started in January 2020 in Vicenza in Italy with the kickoff meeting. So we are now already not at the middle, but we're already implemented some activities of the project. EPIC, the objectives of the EPIC project are in some way resumed with these macro objectives that are to share knowledge and best practices of third country national integration, engage in peer-to-peer exchange based on mutual priorities, develop capacities on negative narratives on migration, and create a European dimension of migrants integration. With this project, we address specifically the cities and the local authorities representatives, because what we are trying to do is to create a network of local authorities and NGOs. And in this way, we try to create inclusive cities. The keyword of the EPIC project is the cooperation among local authorities and NGOs, because we understood that in order to create and to build an inclusive city, we need the cooperation of different actors of the city. So here I present to the partnership of the EPIC project, and as you can see, this project is structured with the participation of local authorities and their implementing partners, so the NGOs that are based in the same city. So as you can see, there are Municipality of Brescia associated with the NGOs based in the same city, Associazione ADL Zavidovici, Municipality of Viannina, who is working together with Symbiosis, City of Lisbon, who is working together with the Jesuit Refugee Service Portugal, the municipality of Oberhausen, that works together with Kitev, municipality of Sisak with Jesuit Refugee Service Croatia, the Sardinia region, working together with Cooperazione Studio Progetto 2, and metropolitan area of Gdansk and Solidaridad Sin Fronteras. Besides that, there are three main cross-cutting partners. That is ALDA, that is the lead partner of the project, and the European Association for Information on Local Development and the University College of London. We started our activities trying to understand which are the common trends and the best practices or the challenges in integration services. So we started with a research through data-based research, surveys, and focus group, which help us to understand in each cities which are the challenges and which are the overall implementation of the practices, of the integration practices. These first activities is going to lead us to identify which are the priorities for each city. So meaning which are the main challenges in integration practices for each city, and which are the best practices or the practices which gave good results in integration services. This first phase is going to create the base for the following activities, which are the matchmaking and the job shadowing activities. In order to explain you what matchmaking means, it means that we are going to create pairs among partners, and these pairs are created by one delegation of local authorities and NGOs that shows good results and good practices in one specific sector, with another delegation of local authorities and NGOs which have some challenges or difficulties in the same specific sector. And here I'm showing you a very general example of what we're going to do. So, for example, if we understand that in one specific city, the local authorities and the NGOs has good practice in the sector of housing, they are going to be matched with another local authorities and NGOs that has some problems or challenges in the sector of housing. Once the pairs will be created, the partners will be ready to undertake the job shadowing activity. So it means that each local authorities and NGOs will attend job shadowing activities in another partner city to gain key insights on specific practices on migrant integration. But on the other side, each local authorities and NGOs will be able then to host another delegation of local authorities and NGOs in order to showcase their best practices and to showcase how they implement their specific service. This exchange among partners will aim to, first of all, exchange knowledge among partners, but also then to be able to implement a pilot project. Because the idea behind this exchange of the job shadowing activities is that the practices observed in other partner countries will be used in some ways as inspiration and will be replicated in the city, in their own city, with implementation of one pilot project that is going to last 12 months. So it will be really the core of the project in order to address one specific practice in each city involved in the project. So in the end, we are going to have 8 pilot projects addressing one and improving one specific service in integration practices. On this, of course, all these activities will be accompanied by working at local level, so consulting population and citizens on migrants, on the integration practices, on the one that already are present, and also on the pilot project that we are going to implement. And on the other side, at international level, we are going to create international meetings that we're going to call international networking path, in order first to think and to create synergies among partners, but also to try to create policy harmonization. The meeting will be held in CISAC, Lisbon, and Brussels. On the side of all these activities, we are going to also focus on the narrative, so working on the narratives. This is going to be a very important topic for the EPIC project, because we are going to have an international training on media with the support, and that is going to be held by experts from the Council of Europe, and also with the organization of webinars tackling the topic of counter-narrative. And these activities are going to be important to support partners and representatives of NGOs and local authorities to learn and to improve how to manage negative narratives on migration, and how also to communicate positive narrative on migration. And this is going to help us to then create counter-narratives campaign in each city of the project. So coming to the conclusion, and then so I can leave the floor to the other speakers, these activities are going to help us to, first of all, create and to learn how to manage circular national integration, but also to create a EU-wide network to exchange best practices on migrants integration, also beyond the EPIC project. Thanks to the implementation of a pilot project in 8 cities, we are going to address and to improve specific service for migrants. And all the work that we are going to do on the counter-narrative we hope that is going to help us to create a mindset change. So I don't know, I would think that maybe we are going to have some questions later. I now leave the floor to Irene Soria Lopez, who is the project coordinator of Solidaridad Sin Fronteras, who is also a partner of the EPIC project. And she's going to explain one very interesting practice regarding tools and services to implement job employment rate within migrant communities.
Okay, so as Linda was saying, my name is Irene Soria, and I am the project coordinator in Solidaridad Sin Fronteras. We are an NGO based in Alcorcon. It's a region in the south of Madrid, and we have different projects in different fields and with different scope. Regional, European, trans-Mediterranean, and development cooperation in different countries. And Alcorcon is a municipality in the south of Madrid region that has 170,000 inhabitants, and about 11% of those are migrants. So we are working in collaboration with the municipality of Alcorcon since 2017, and we have different forms of collaboration. We have this official general framework agreement that includes like all the different projects that we are developing with them. And then we have specific agreements for specific projects that requires those specific agreements depending on the project. So the different forms of collaboration that we have with Alcorcon municipality are in legal counseling and this legal counseling project for migrant people. We provide them with counseling regarding anything that they may need for asylum seekers, people that are illegally in the country too, are also for migrant people that are legally in the country, so whatever they may need. And we preserve their anonymity, and they are free to come. And if they are not feeling safe to come, they can also call by phone. Those that are not legally in the country prefer this last method, of course. Then we have awareness and empowerment projects in schools with students and education professionals about different topics. Migration, religion, hate speech, I don't know, like several topics regarding migration and integration. We have these integration and inclusion projects related to migration and religion with professionals working in the social services, in health services, and so on. So they are aware of how to deal with people with different backgrounds. And we have a hate speech campaign too in the south region of Madrid, not only in Alcorcon. We have developed an integration plan for Alcorcon together with the municipality, and we have employment projects for vulnerable people. A lot of them are migrant people. So I'm going to focus on this last part, that are the employment projects. Now we have 4 of them, but I'm going to talk like in general for you to understand how it works. So the beneficiaries we have in all the projects are women, specifically those who have special difficulties to find a job. If they are over 45, if they are mothers that have been like a long time without working in anything or something like that. We have migrant people with a lot of different backgrounds, refugees, asylum seekers, migrants with legal or illegal status, citizens with migrant background, and so on. Most of them at the beginning of coming here, they don't understand how it works, the system, or how to use the different platforms or the different tools that we have for looking for a job, among other things. And people over 45 years old in general, youth with special difficulties to find a job, those that haven't finished their basic studies or something like that. People who is getting allowances or subsidies from the government too, because they don't have a job and they didn't have a job for a long time, so they have families or they have to pay a rent, or you know, those kind of people that cannot pay for basics. And then long-term unemployed people too, and disabled people. So how is the cooperation protocol? That's important part in here. The first thing is the referral. We collaborate with social services in public employment services and mental health centers in Alcorcon. So they receive and assess the person and the needs that the person may have, and they decide if that need can be addressed by our projects. And then the social worker refers the person to SSF, sending us a file with information about the person. Some of the information they don't send to us because it's very private or very sensitive information, but it's only the basic information that we need to work with them. And then we include them in a list to contact them. And when we contact them, we have a list of waiting list. So we prioritize the people with more urgent needs. And then we call them for them to come into the employment service with us. And we tell the social workers that we are calling them. We have this continuous communication and collaboration with the social services of Alcorcon municipality. So we have this European integration system with 4 different phases, from addressing the needs to ending the intervention with the people, with individual intervention, group workshops, job placement, internship, capacity building. I mean, we refer them to other services if they need that. For example, if we detect that someone has some mental issue, like they are depressed or they don't know how to deal with their families anymore, or whatever they may need, we refer them to the mental health services. Or if they ask us for how to get a allowance for rent, to pay in the rent, we refer them to social services, to a specific person in social services, and so on. So this referral is back and forth when they assess a need that we can address, and the other way around when we assess a need that they can address. And we also provide psychosocial support, because usually people, the people that we work with is people that has been like a long time without working, and they are kind of depressed, or they are like giving up on looking for a job or something like that. So it's not only helping them find a job and keep it, but also like accompany them through all the process and through all the different emotions that they can develop through the process. And then every 2 months, we send a report to the social workers about each person. The different days that we've met that person, we put exactly what we've been doing with them, and the progress that they are doing, and how we see them, and the assessment that we do on the situation of the person. And we send those individual reports back to the social workers, and also we send them an Excel file with all the basic information on every single person that they're gonna need later on to continue the intervention with the person. And that's like very specific things. And then we have the coordination system. As I was telling you before, we have a lot of communication with them through different methods and through different systems. We have these regular meetings with them in person, but now, you cannot do that anymore. So we have Skype calls, we have WhatsApp, and we have emails going back and forth all the time, and phone calls. But when we can meet like face to face in person, we try to do that, because it's much more better to talk about people and their situations. We have these phone calls when needed. For example, if we have someone that is receiving an allowance or a subsidy, and they have to come to our service to keep this allowance, we call the social worker, like, hey, look, this person is not coming anymore. We don't know what's happening. Do you know what's happening with this person? And so when it's something that we need to know immediately, we call them and we try to communicate immediately with them. And the other way around, when they need something from us, it's the same. Then we have these emails when needed. Usually every week we are crossing emails, like back and forth with them with different kind of information. We have the reports and files that I told you before that we send by email. And we have an employment work group with different organizations from public and private sector in Alcorcon municipality. So we can coordinate and we can talk about different kind of services that we are providing, the people that is coming, and so on. Because usually when we receive people in our service, they have been in all the rest of the services of the network. So it's good to gather together and to know what's happening in the other services from public and private organizations, and trying to find out what's happening and how to collaborate in a way that we are growing together instead of doing the same thing over and over again with them. And we have this special coordination system with IMEPE, that's a municipalities employment system. We are working in their building. We are working in a public building that is from this municipality employment system. They work with different backgrounds, people with different backgrounds than we do. So they refer people to us and we refer people to them when needed. And we are in the same building. So it's super easy for us to go down, talk to them, or like make a meeting with them when needed or something like that, because we are in the same building. And then, as I told you before, we also refer people to the social services, mental health services, and other institutions when we feel that the person may need it. And the benefits and outcomes of this collaboration that we have with them is that we have more than 1,300 beneficiaries since we started at the end of 2017 with employment projects in collaboration with the municipality. We have actually right now 4 projects that are being implemented with different backgrounds, as I told you before. So every year we have these 4 projects in collaboration with Alcorcon. And they also ask us when we find a new need that they know that we can address. They ask us, hey, can you create a project for this? What do you think? How can we, and if we cannot do that, we refer them to another NGO, or because we are in different networks. So we refer them to other NGO that can cover that need that they are having. And another municipality from Madrid region called us like a few weeks ago to asking us for a project similar to the ones that we are doing in Alcorcon municipality, because talking between them, Alcorcon told them like, hey, look, these people is doing a great job. We have great results, and if you need, and they were like, okay, we're gonna call them. And now we are in the process of starting similar projects in another municipality in Madrid region that's in the east. It's called Arganda del Rey. And that's it. I think I'm on time. So if you have any questions or you need any more information, I think at the end of the webinar, we're gonna have the time for that. So I'm gonna try and give the floor to Jana.
Thank you a lot, Irene. Thank you a lot. That was a very interesting presentation. We saw how the collaboration with the municipality is working pretty well, and that is giving very good results. So I'm sure that maybe later on there will be some questions for you. But in the meantime, I give the floor to Jana Ganderbeck, who is project coordinator of KITEV, which is another partner of the EPIC project. And Jana is going to present us a very interesting practice that they are implementing in Germany. That is the Free University of Oberhausen, giving power to the people. So I now leave the floor to Jana.
Yes, hello, my name is Gianna, and I'm very happy to be here today to represent KITEV, the social cultural initiative I work with. As already said, we are based in Oberhausen, which is in the Ruhr area in Germany. And this area actually Oberhausen, the city, is only existing because of immigration due to the coal mining industry, which is very famous for our area. So this is one aspect we are often referring to in our work. And for the beginning, I would like to give you a quick overview of the initiative and the way we are working. So what you see on the picture is the old water tower of the main station in Oberhausen, where we with our office are based in. And one very visible action of my colleagues when they arrived in the city was to repair the station clock. As you can see in the picture, it is shining in different colors now. And when they arrived, the time literally stood still. So the clock was broken. And now we have a visible sign that something is happening again in the city, and that we want to revitalize the neighborhood. And as most of our work is focused on migrants' inclusion through cultural exchange and joint actions, one of our most important working principles is to change the narrative on migration. So it is very important that we create projects where people meet on eye level, and that people with and without refugee or migration background become the authors of their own stories. So we want to give space to create own ideas and to implement them. As you can see here, this was one of these projects. It's on a high-rise building that you see when you leave the main station of Oberhausen. It says Oberhausen, the origin of the Ruhr industry, and it was broken. As you see, the E is not shining anymore. It's on the top of the building of a school, and we repaired this sign together with the international class. So we worked together, and here you see a little photo tour of the repaired neon sign throughout the city, and it also gained some publicity in the local newspaper. So yeah, it was like giving something back to the city and reshaping the new home. So here you see the final result. And this is one of our most common slogans: who builds changes and who knows that he can change something, becomes a player in an active community. So this is actually the way we are working. We are focusing on joint actions and seeing the result of our works. What you can see in the pictures is the renovation of apartments and the ground level of another high-rise building, which is very close to the main station. And the background was that in 2015, when many refugees came into the city of Oberhausen, the city rented some apartments in this building. This building is quite controversially discussed as a hotspot building with many problems, and the public discussions were more like you're putting problems to problems, where we said no, this should be seen as a chance, and we want to change the perception. So we implemented a social cultural meeting place in the ground level together with the new people in our city. So as I already said, changing the perception is one of the core principles as well. And to address diversity as what it is precious, and it is an enrichment for our society. That is actually what my colleagues put on the top of this high-rise building. Then in the end of last year, it says diversity is our home, to remind the people in our neighborhood as well where they come from. So as I said, the city is only existing because of migration, so it is diverse in its nature. What I want to focus on today is the Free University, which is a bottom-up structure and a neighborhood network we initiated 1.5 years ago. And this is completely focused on participation. So the idea arose because many people in Oberhausen complained that our city is the only one in our area without a university. And then we thought, okay, let's give our city a university, but not a top-down one, but one from the neighborhood for the neighborhood. So we started with, first of all, smaller meetings with people that we had already in our network, and then widened the network to public meetings. And there we asked the participants, on the one hand, what they would like to learn, and on the other hand, and especially this question, what they would like to bring in. So what are their experiences, what they want to share with other people. This was not based on the educational level, so it was not really, okay, you're a good, you have a degree in this part, so you can give courses in this, but you have a lot of experience in this field. You are motivated about what you're doing and you want to share this with others. So what we came up with after a few meetings were 20 courses, which we divided into 5 groups. So this is kind of the structure what you are seeing now. And as you see, CITIV, the Social Culture Initiative I work in, is responsible for the coordination and the framework of the Free University, but the university itself is completely done by the neighborhood itself. So you see the 5 faculties. We play a little bit with the structure of a real university. So we have 5 deanships existing out of 1 to 2 people that are responsible then to organize the seminars. What we provide especially is our role is focusing on empowerment in the end. So we provide guidance and assistance. We have monthly meetings with the deanships. In the moment, of course, it's a bit harder due to Corona. But last year it was like this, and now we are slowly coming back to this rhythm, which is very nice that it's possible again. Yes, and we give the scope and the framework to develop the ideas and to implement them. So, for example, we have a handbook in which the people can see the financial guidelines. So we have a specific amount for each faculty that they can use on their own. So this is quite similar to the neighborhood fund. Some of you might know this principle. So every faculty has an amount for fees and for material costs, and then they can handle this on their own. And in the monthly meetings, they can reflect this back to us. What we provide as well, of course, are premises. So we have rooms in the main station. We have a platform outside at the main station to use for open air cinemas, for example. We have the social cultural meeting place and an old supermarket that we use from time to time. Equipment and of course corporations. We have many stakeholders in the city we work with, like social initiatives, cultural initiatives, but also some departments of the city. And of course we have in public relations. So here you see a small map of all the locations we are using, which are not all from ourselves. What was one development of the last year is that we now have as well a neighborhood garden, which can be used by all participants of the Free University and is managed by themselves as well. Here's some key facts. So the whole project is sponsored by the Federal Commissioner for Culture and the Media and the Federal Ministry of the Interior, Building and Community, and is taking place in the framework of the Social City program, which is quite common in Germany, to revitalize neglected neighborhoods in the end. We have 20 people that are directly involved, so giving courses or organizing everything, and 150 participants that are actively visiting the courses. When we're doing open air cinemas or some bigger events, these are quite more. And a long list of project partners. Here you see the first page of the printed version of our course offer. So we did this version with a migrant initiative together, and together with some migrants that are directly involved in our team, and always focus on the translation of keywords. And we are providing also translation of all courses, as you can see on the left side. So if someone is not speaking German yet, they can contact us and we provide translation for free. And as well, some of the seminars are given in other languages. For example, we have one calligraphy workshop in Arabic, and then someone else is translating this back to German. Here are the topics of the faculties we have. So they are divided more in kind of history faculty, who is the city, which are city tours to develop the neighborhood, for example, and workshops. Then the second one is more do-it-yourself. So there's street art, urban gardening, and sustainability aspects. The third one is focusing on sports and beer, because we have a sports series and a bar that is taking place monthly in cooperation with the Intercultural Integration Cafe. An artistic faculty, which is focusing on theater, calligraphy, and films, and more the philosophy faculty, which is about discussion, reflection, and reading. So now I would like to quickly give you a deeper insight in two faculties. This is the second one, so the urban gardening, which we now have the community garden, the street art, and the Think the Grids, sustainability yet now. And yeah, these are all taking place throughout the neighborhood and are managed in the end completely from the people themselves. Here you have the debate club, which is more panel discussions about relevant aspects, mostly focusing on integration. For example, the next one is integration via religion. Is this a good way, or should we think about others? And as well, the one after this will be Fortress Europe. So how the borders are influencing the neighborhood we are living in the end. Climate fiction and reading. And we have an integration course, which is more about reflection of different topics. So we play a bit with this wording. Yes, and this was the insight in our project. So in the end, we are working a lot with creating new stories and shaping our neighborhoods together with the people that are living in. I now would give the floor to the Q&A session because we have only 10 minutes left.
Thank you so much, Jana. That was a very interesting example on we can say a very interesting example of a bottom-up approach. If there are not any specific questions, we also we have some questions for you. After seeing the different practices in different cities, and also see that having a very general understanding on also the EPIC project and the approach that we are going to use to create this exchange among different cities and different partners. I would like to know if do you have similar practices in your cities? And for this, I invite you, all of you, maybe to use the questions. We would be very glad if you can maybe exchange with us your feedback or your ideas or similar practices in your cities, or maybe if you want to share some thoughts using the microphone. Let's see if there is some courageous participant.
Dolinda,
yes,
I can open the microphone to Miss or Mr. Bandra Lassi.
Hello.
Yeah, that's great. Hello. Thank you for having me in this webinar. I'm really glad to participate with you. Well, I present myself. I'm Badra. I'm from Tunisia. Well, I'm from exactly Kirwan. It's a city in the middle of Tunisia. It's a very historic city and spiritual city. Well, actually, I'm a project manager of a project that is named In City, and it's mostly an initiative for integration of migrants. Well, we work actually on internal migration, because we suffer from migration because of many factors. Here, people are leaving their regions. Especially, we have very agricultural areas and farms, etc. So we work on a project that we are trying to create a new work opportunities in responsible tourism. So we are working on creating some pilot phase, pilot experience of creating an offer, new offer for tourists from all over the world to experience the responsible green ecotourism here. Especially, we have a great architectural and monuments here in Quran, and people can discover that in a new way. So this project, we have many partners. My organization is the National Union for Women, Tunisian Women here in Quran, and we are partners with ADL here in Quran, with the Swiss cooperation. So I'm so glad to exchange experience with you. I see other experiences that are very similar what we are doing now, because we work especially with youth here, and it's a very similar situation, because here we try to work more in inclusion, and especially cultural, social, and economic inclusion. So I just would like to share with you from the South Mediterranean. We have a similar experience. So that's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your work and your feedback and your thoughts. Indeed, I think it's very interesting, and it's also interesting if we can also I mean, we can stay in touch to see also how your project is going, and also if there is possibility to to exchange and to follow the activities of our work. So thank you so much for sharing. Also, I can put in the chat, I hope to do it in the right way, the link of the EPIC project. We have a website, so also through the website and through the website is also possible to to find more information and also to subscribe to the newsletter. But I think actually we have to stop here because we arrived at the end of our webinar. So I don't know if maybe the speakers would like to conclude to say something, or if we can stop here. Okay. So
yeah, sorry, yeah, saying thank you for this opportunity of sharing our experiences in Alcorcon, and for the people out there listening to us, if you're listening to us, just to let you know that you can reach us in case that now you're shy, but you want to ask something or share some experiences or whatever. So thank you very much.
Yes, from my side as well, thank you very much for listening and for giving us the opportunity to share our experience. As Irene already said, feel free to reach out to us later. You will find all our contacts on the EPIC project site, I believe. So happy to hear from you.
Okay, so thank you so much for to Irene and to Jana for joining this webinar. Thank you, Eva, for organizing these first ALDATalks. We are very proud to start the ALDATalk series, so we invite you all to continue following ALDATalk series with the next sessions. And so I conclude here. I am available for any other question that we could raise later on. And I wish you all a very nice day. Bye-bye.